Hey guys, Steve Welch here. So we did it. We hit the 100,000 subscribers, and it's kind of cool watching it tick over. Recorded my screen where I was watching it tick over. I'll show you that. And then oddly enough, it went over to 100,000, then went back to 99,999, then went back to 100. I think somebody was messing with me, but that's okay. We got over the 100,000, over 101 now, so confident that we're definitely over that mark. So I thought that I would kind of tell you guys a little bit about the channel overall and give you a little bit about why I thought it was such a big deal for me to get there. So now I know a lot of people do the unboxing of the award, and to be quite honest, I got the award from YouTube, and it was so tiny. The new award was so small. So normally you do the unboxing of the award. I know there's a lot of people that have done those in the past, right? And YouTube even sends you out a little email. Hey, get ready, start thinking about the video you're gonna make when you unbox your award and all this stuff. And it says new, smaller size, same award. And you're going, okay, well then the award shows up and the box is so tiny, going, oh, they must have it on back order or something, and they're sending you something saying your award's coming, but this for net. No, that was the award. And I'll show you a picture of what the award looks like. It's actually smaller than a picture frame. So it's kind of that's a bit underwhelming for me for a milestone that at least according to AI, that less than 100,000 people in the US have hit. It says 91,000, I believe, when I looked it up, as to how many people have hit that award. And I was it's one of the reasons I really wanted to hit it is because so few people have. I mean, that's part of what really makes me want to do stuff like that, is that it's like, whenever somebody tells me I can't do something, I a lot of times try to find a way to do it, as long as it's, of course, something I'm interested in and legal, right? Just saying, right? It ain't gonna hurt me. No, I mean, I'll always aim to be the most successful, the most product knowledge, the most everything is what I want to be, right? And if I fall short of that, then I just try to find a way to get better than I was and just kind of move forward that way. That's kind of my mindset. But anyway, enough on the award, because the award was kind of the least important part of it. It's kind of cool, but it's the least important part of it. I'm gonna try to see if I can't find a way to get the old size, because that's really what I want now. So, but I'll see what I can find in that. But anyway, so I wanted to give you a background on some of the stuff that I do, and just kind of tell you why I think hitting this 100K is so important. So there's a lot of people out there that when they hit the 100K or that, they've got a team of writers. My team of writers is me. That's it. I don't have any writers. I don't have anybody that comes up with ideas for me. Realistically, my ideas come up a lot of times with questions that people ask me and say, how do I? And then they ask the question. I go, I should probably make a video about that. There's going to be more people that have that question. And that's where a lot of my video ideas come from. But I don't have a crew that's out, or sometimes people will say, hey, will you do a video on this? And I'll get those too. So, and hey, if it's a good idea and I have the ability to do it, I will, right? So, but I don't have a crew behind me that's doing all these scripts or anything like that. The other thing is I really don't do any scripts. Every once in a while, you'll see in some of my videos, I have a piece of paper in my hand. That piece of paper is just a basic outline. It might be 6 or 7 things, or maybe I'm giving you a list of 10 things that, 10 reasons to buy a RAV4, 10 reasons the RAV4 has lower maintenance, 10 reasons that Toyota sells more than, one of the other brands, or something like that. Or maybe I'm giving a countdown. Some of the stuff I do on my Fact of the Day channel, which is my other channel, and I'll do some stuff on there that's just kind of fun to me. But no, if I'm holding the piece of paper, it's not a script. I don't do ladies and gentlemen, blah, 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 and then do the whole thing and then read out a whole script. I think that can get really, really blocky. It can get really, really boring. It can, it can have, problems, right? Now, the reason I do notes sometimes is because if I leave something out, y'all will call me on it. And even if I try to fix it, y'all still call me on it. So, I've got a Highlander video about troubleshooting on the Highlander that I made probably 4 or 5 years ago. So I've been doing this channel 8 years almost now, as just on the Toyota part of it. Not to mention that I've had my channel up since 2012. I'll talk to you about that here in a minute. But anyway, that was really when I was a bit in my infancy of doing the channel that I did this Highlander video, and I forgot one of the things on troubleshooting the back door. So I made a comment and I pinned it to the top and said, hey, there's a button that's in the glove box, check that too. And I still get comments all the time. By the way, you forgot to mention there's a button in the only way I could fix that old video is to pin the comment. I had forgot to put that in there. But, those kind of things, we're sometimes if you forget something note wise, and I didn't have a note in there, I just kind of going off the top of my head. So that's why I'll have notes every once in a while. Doesn't stop me from rambling, right? But that's why, right? So anyway, so kind of go back to, I just mentioned that my channel's been around since 2012, but I've only been doing the Toyota stuff for about 7 years. The reason is that when I first started the channel, I didn't really know what YouTube was, to be quite honest. I just kind of posted some videos of my dogs on there, and the reason is I thought they were cute and I wanted to let my family see them. So I started to post a couple of videos of my dogs playing on there, and then I was like hearing that some of these people would do like instructional stuff and would watch stuff like that, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't even remember which order I did them in, but I did one that was on changing the fuel injectors on my 03 Honda, right? That was I had an 03 Honda Accord, and it wasn't hard to do. It was just one of those things that, all right, let me put out there changing my fuel injectors, because maybe I can help somebody that doesn't quite know how to do it. There wasn't nothing out there about it, that I saw, because I was trying to find something, and I'm like, well, you know what, I'll put something out. So I did. I mean, I'm sure there's several now, but there really wasn't at that point a whole lot out there that I found that was in a way that would make any sense on how to do it. Let's put it that way, right? People have gotten a lot better since then when it comes to YouTube and content, right? So anyway, so I did that one. I had bought a backyard solarium, and I was like going to put it up, and I'm like, man, 7 boxes and whatever, and I was like, let me see if I can do a step-by-step on this. So I did that, and I didn't really know where my channel was going to go, or really what I was going to do. At that point, I was actually working on semis, so I worked a lot of semi-trailers, and some trucks and that's what I was doing at the time. So I had actually taken a video of a gentleman that was teaching people how basically to not get shut down by the Department of Transportation when you're driving a big rig. So basically, what's an officer that pulls you over going to look for, and when he pulls you over? And that was probably one of my first, I don't really want to call it viral videos, but that was I got a lot of views on that video. That one video, I think right now is pushing 1 million, just in it for views. Now I know there's people, 45 million views on one video and stuff like that. I'm not saying that I'm, better than anybody else with that. I'm just saying that as videos go, that's one of the highest viewed videos I have, but it's also one of the oldest. So that's something else to put that there. And a lot of people argue with some of the things the guy says, but yeah. All right, so that's kind of the history where it started. And then I was working at Beeman, right? And I've been with Beeman over a decade now, right? So depending on when you're watching this, it's a decade or longer, right? And what it was is that I had an old guy that called me and told me I sold my truck without a jack, and I've done a short about this that was out there, just kind of giving you guys a little bit. But he's like, you sold my truck, didn't have a jack, and I tried to send him a picture. His iPhone wouldn't decode the one from my Samsung, and I tried that, and all right, well, I'll try to send you a little video, do a quick little 10-second video where I opened the door and showed him where it was, and no, I can't get that either. So I was like, fine. I'm going to post this video, and I'll post it for other people to find too on YouTube, and see if I can't get you your answer that way. So the guy's like, oh, okay. And I posted it, and he goes, I found it. And it wasn't that hard. It was just, yeah, all right, I found it. It's like, okay. And then literally the same day, I believe it was, that I did that one, I had a girl call me and tell me her phone unpaired from her car and wanted me to walk her through how to repair it. And I'm like, I'll just send you a video. I'm not going to try that. So I did the same thing on YouTube, and that just kind of went into anytime I had a question, I was like, you know what, I'll just make a video. And it was just easier. It was an easier way to explain it. It made it easier to give the person the information they were looking for. And I did it for my customers in a lot of ways. And that's where it started. But kind of going back to a lot of the people that have script writers, I don't have any corporate backing, meaning that the dealership I work for doesn't pay me to do this. I mean, this is my thing. This is something, like I said, where I've started from a long time. I don't have anybody that pushes my stuff out there. I have just, it's me. And then every once in a while, when I have my customers that need an answer, I might send them out something, but more times than not, it's just people out there in the U-verse, right? All those people out there that have questions or whatever. And I'm like, look, if I can help you, I'm going to help you, right? But I get phone calls, I get a lot of stuff and that. So also going back to what I said about, wanting to, if there's a challenge, I want to, rise to it, right? There's an old saying that says that you don't rise to the challenge, you actually fall to the highest level of your preparation. And I believe highly in that. So what it is that if I know more, then I can fall back on that knowledge, right? So when I say rise to the occasion, where it's you fall back on the knowledge that you have. And every once in a while, do I know everything? Man, nobody can know everything. And I mean, I had somebody ask me the other day, hey, the difference between what you get on a 2022 Prius Prime and a 2025 Prius Prime, and I'm trying to think, because they changed the body, and I'm like, well, and I'm trying to think of everything that's on there, and it's like, you're bound to miss something, because, man, when you see it every day on a new car, obviously you're going, oh, I know this one's got this, and you can start talking up. But when you start talking, hey, that 17 Camry, did it have, and you get an answer on what did the 17 Camry have, or hey, what size engine or what horsepower was in the 2014, that I'm not going to remember that. I can find it. I mean, I can find the answer real quick. I'm not going to know that off the top of my head. Now, if you ask me something about a current model, a current generation, if you ask, how many speeds in the transmission of this Tundra, I can tell you it's 10-speed transmission, right? The 4Runner just changed, right? So what was the old engine of 4Runner? 4-liter, right? What's the new one? New one's less than that, 2.4, right? But it's got an 8-speed transmission, right? It had a 5-speed before. So, I can give you that type of information, and I can give you all that off the top of my head, just whatever I'm trying to, come up with. I'm usually right. I mean, everyone, I can at least get you close, right? Hey, did this have CarPlay? Did this have Android Auto? Did this have the safety suite? Did this have those are common questions that I get. If you were to sit by my desk every day at Beeman, you would find out that there are probably 20 to 30 times that a salesperson will come up and ask me a question. And probably, I'd say 90% of them I know off the top of my head. There's other ones I've got to look up, right? But yeah, 90% of the time or so, yeah, I already know. Me and a coworker of mine, Glenn, we a lot of times like to try to stump each other. And that's actually been really beneficial to the channel as well. That, hey, did you hear that this, or did you know you could do this, or did you know this was a thing? And we'll bounce stuff off each other. And realistically, like, I know if Glenn doesn't know it or didn't know it, then man, I need to put it out there, because if he doesn't know it and I don't know it, that means there's a lot of people that don't have that answer. So and oddly enough, that litmus test for a lot of my videos have been what's gotten the 100,000 plus views on, because it literally nobody else has anything out about it. and there's something that's called rear camera detection unavailable. I did a couple of videos about that, and nobody knew how to fix it. Nobody anywhere. There wasn't anything even listed online on how to fix it. Well, I figured out how to fix it and put it out there where you can do it in 3 minutes. And it's literally, it's that easy. People are paying shops a couple $100 for them to tell you, I don't know how to fix it. It's like, well, what do I have you for? So that's been something, right? So, kind of, like I said, a couple bullet points, and I'm going to make this as long as I want to, just so you know. Watch time. It's probably be 30 minutes. I'm on my way to work. Why not, right? But anyway, so yeah, so I don't have any scripts. I don't, like I said, I don't have anybody that's like backing me that's doing that stuff. I haven't had any corporate sponsorships, by the way, either. I'd be okay with them, but I have to at least know or at least believe in the company in some way. Now, I have had some product reviews that I've done. And realistically, I'll tell you the product reviews I've done, and I've got a whole playlist on just the product reviews. There's some companies out there that have sent me some products that I've really liked, right? Like Top Don. Top Don has sent me a lot of stuff that I don't think they make anything bad. Just saying. Moose Logi, they're another one that I've dealt with a lot. They've sent me a lot of products, good quality, stuff like that. So yeah, I will look at products and stuff like that. Now I will tell you that I had one that it was a dash cam. There was one dash cam that they sent to me, and it broke out of the box. And I was like, I can do the review if you want to, but the same way that I tell them, look, when I'm gonna open these things, or when I'm gonna hook things up or whatever, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If your product's crap, I'll tell people it's crap. And with that one exception, I haven't really ran into a whole lot. I told them, look, this thing's broken out of the box. If you want to send me another, and it wasn't broken because of shipping, it was just broke. It just didn't work. But I said, I'd like to do a proper review on it, but it's probably not going to be good. And they said, no, we're good. And they didn't send me another one. So I couldn't complete the review because I couldn't give you a full review of everything. So they kind of got lucky on that one that I couldn't get it working. So, but that just kind of lets you know that that's not one that I was going to recommend anyway, right? But I've had a couple things sent to me that people have wanted me to review, and most of the things that people are willing to send, as soon as I say, look, as long as you understand that if it's crap, I'm going to say it's crap. There's been some people that have just said, yeah, we're probably not going to go ahead and send that to you. We don't know what you'll think. And I was like, then that's probably a good idea, And I'm just, hey, it is, right? Just saying. But I've had some people offer me some pretty products that looked like a pretty good idea, and then they never show up. And it's like, oh, I wonder if it's because of my yeah. Anyway, so FitCam, by the way, FitCam X, they're really good too. I have that on both of my vehicles now, and I recommend them. But like I said, that's but when it comes to product reviews, you don't really get paid on product reviews. You just kind of get the product, is kind of how those end up working. And I'm okay with doing a product review. I haven't done as much lately just because I don't have time. If I got a reason to do it, I probably would, but I just haven't done a whole lot of them. The companies that I know put out good products, I'm usually going to tell them yes for sure, because what it ends up doing is it helps me to help my customer. Because what I'll end up doing is, if they send me something for a Tacoma, well, obviously I don't have my own Tacoma, right? So the first person that ends up buying a Tacoma from me and go, hey, here, I got this new product from this company, do you want it? And I'll throw them the product, and obviously it's a free product to me, and if I'm not using it, why not give it to my next customer that's going to buy the car? So that's just something that I think is pretty cool, right? So all that being said, right, go on to the next one. Next part about my channel that you might not know, I do all the editing myself. There's a couple software packages that I have, but I have all the editing, all the splicing together. I have a couple subscriptions that I have to like stock footage, stuff like that. But that's about all that I kind of get help with is that. But I obviously I pay for that. But I have some subscriptions for that. I have green screen. I have a pretty massive green screen that I can use if I need to, and there have been a couple videos, and see if you can figure out which ones they are, but I got a couple of videos that I've made where I've been in front of the store, and I just use a stock, not even a stock, but it's just a video I took of the store behind me, and I can stand in front of the Toyota store, and you guys don't even know because it's all on a green screen. So but if you listen really, really close in the background, you might hear crickets because I made it at like 2 a.m. So there's a couple of them like that, 10, 11, 12, sometimes late in the evening. But all the edits, all that kind of stuff, every piece of that is, I do it all. I do every little bit of that. I, basically can take stuff up, and then sometimes you'll get to where I'll start talking, and I just published a video here not too long ago that was about Wi-Fi charging, and I was playing it, and my wife was listening to me because she's obviously in the house while I'm playing it, of course, and I'm playing it, and she starts laughing at me, and I'm like, what? She goes, you created a drinking game, and I'm like, oh God, what did I do? And she's like listening to it. She goes, listen for the word right. I'm like, right? She goes, yeah, listen to the word right. I'm going there and I'm going, hey, so on the wireless charging, so if you do this right, and I'm like talking and I'm saying the word right like every minute and a half. She's like, man, if people were using that as a drinking game, they'd get hammered. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I had to go back and edit out. If you look at that wireless charging video, you'll see a few edits in there. And you'll be like, oh, I wonder what the edit was. I just took out the word right. My wife made me self-conscious about it, and she was like, somebody's gonna hammer you on it. Yeah, right. It is. I mean, but she'll just be in the background, not really listening to what I'm doing, and she's like, you know what, you're saying of course a lot. I know words I like to say, of course, right, I do, yeah, so I know I use those words, but it all comes from not being scripted. I would rather have a conversation with you where I tell you the word right, 10 times okay, but when I tell you the word right in 10 times in a minute, than trying to script something where I'm going, and welcome to the channel. I would like to. I don't think that kind of a reading of a script is something that would come over well for how I do what I do. That's my opinion, but you guys can tell me what you think. There's always a comment section, and a lot of you know how to use it, so I'm sure you'll let me know what you think. You'll let me know what you think about the video being long too, but I'm celebrating the 100,000 here just because, like I said, there's not a lot of people that have hit it. Giving you a bit of an insight into how I do what I do, and just kind of letting you know there. So the other thing is I do have a members section, so I do tend to post videos up to about a week early for that. I've done them as much as 2 weeks early for the members section, but I don't have anything that's just members only. I just usually do members first, and I selected the lowest price for the members section, and it's just to give you something extra if you want it. I'm not really pushing it, but it seems like that it might have helped with the YouTube algorithm to at least have a member section, so that's the reason that I did it. I'm not really pushing like merch or anything like that. I suppose I could, but I haven't, right? A lot of what I end up doing is you'll see a video and it might have been made up to a week ago by the time that I push it out there. There are some times that I will push a video like a now video if I've got a customer. It's like, man, I'm sitting and not even if it's a customer, but if it's like one of you guys, hey, I'm sitting here in Washington and I've got a problem with this, and I try to walk them through it, and I can't quite get them there just talking them through it real quick, or something along those lines. But you know what? Here, I'm gonna push a video out there, and I'll record it with my phone instead of recording it like I usually use GoPros, by the way. But I'll record it with my phone instead of the GoPros, because my GoPros are what I put into my editing software and stuff like that. But I'll just one take it a lot of times with my phone. And be quite honest, I don't do as much editing as people might think I do. Cuts, splices, crossfades, a few things like that, but I don't do like, big edits. I don't have a real need to, because I'm in a conversation mode. I don't have to, if I have a little pause or I have a slight issue with a little hesitation where I'm trying to tell you something and I'm trying to figure out the word or something like that, I can edit that out if I need to. I just don't really need to. But I know what I'm talking about. When you know what you're talking about, you can usually get your point across, just like if I'm face to face with you, right? That's my thought, right? So if I'm talking to you and I do it on my phone to try to help somebody and I put it out there, some of my better videos have been that way too, where it's just, hey, and don't get me wrong, it'll always be in the comments, you're not holding it steady. Well, I have an anti-shake on my GoPro that works really good. The anti-shake on my phone is a little less good. I've had it a couple times where I had a finger get in the way or something like that. But it realistically, it was less for content and more for helping that person in that moment. And don't get me wrong, some of those videos like that might have 500 views after a year. It was helping one person. I didn't do it to go viral with it. I did it to help that one person that was having a problem, and it helped 500 more people. It doesn't really matter on that. I have enough, I think, that go viral that, or at least that have a lot of views, that tells me I'm doing the right thing. Tells me I'm giving you guys the content that you want, at least for the most part. And when I did this push for more subscribers, and I was like, you know what? In full disclosure, I paid for some ads to. All the ads was for YouTube to put my video first, right? And I said, look, let me put a couple $100 out there and see if I can get YouTube to put my video in front of more people, because that's realistically what the promote a video does. So that's what I did. I was like, you know what? Let me put it out there. Let me promote the video, and I'll find a video that maybe is not just Toyota. And that's what I did. I put some stuff out there and, just pushed a couple $100, pushed 3 or 4 videos out there. And yeah, the views went up, the subscribers went up, all that went up. So yeah, it did what it was supposed to. And then, but the thing is that the fact that I put it in front of more people caused more people to subscribe, which that validated what I was doing, because you got the opportunity to see it and you went, you know what, there's more to this than that. And oddly enough, when I started to do that, it only took a few months to get from about halfway there to all the way there, when I pushed it a little bit that way. And I, a couple $100 a month, and you can push them out there and stuff, and it puts it in front of more people, but the people still have to like it enough to subscribe, right? They still have to like it enough to watch more videos. But yeah, it was just kind of, it overwhelmed me that it's like, man, if more people get the opportunity to see what I'm putting out, more people like it, and more people subscribe to it, more people do the thing that I think is awesome, right? You guys come back for more, right? And that is the biggest, and that's the best way to let me know that, hey, you guys appreciate what I've done. That now there's that little thanks button down there, and that little thanks button, I've had a few people hit that when I've saved them a few $100s on their, by not having to take it to a mechanic or whatever for their car, when they found out, oh, it's simple, or it's not really that big of a deal, or I can do this myself, I don't need somebody's help. That's something else that's been there. But yeah, so kind of just rehashing it, right? So I don't use a script, I don't have any writers, I don't have like a corporate backer. I do the vast majority of my recording. I mean, I'll do like before work, or I'll do like after I've already clocked out. I'll go and I'll record a video after I've clocked out, just before I leave. Every once in a while I take a lunch. A lot of times I don't take a lunch, but like just before lunch, I'll get to where I'm about to go to lunch. I'll go and record something for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I'll do my edits usually after 10 o'clock at night. Usually after 10 o'clock at night, usually between 10 and 2, I'll do my edits. But yeah, oh, by the way, right now driving into Nashville, in case you guys are wondering, you can kind of see Nashville skyline right there ahead of me. So you guys that know me know that I work out of Nashville, and sometimes I go downtown. Right now I'm recording this on Memorial Day, so going downtown is actually a little bit easier traffic-wise, which you can kind of see there. But that's downtown, so there's a better view right there. Old downtown Nashville. So, but just figured I'd show you guys that. Why? I don't know. I was there. But it's beautiful. I love it. So, anyway. But yeah, so no corporate backing. No, I mean, I'm encouraged by my management. They do what you got to do, whatever. I mean, they don't hold me back by any means. I think they realize that me putting myself out there is nothing but good for the dealership, because I don't do anything that is negative. And you'll find that on this channel too. Something purposefully that I do not do. I do not talk politics. I don't really care if you're one side, the other, or somewhere in the middle. My content's not focused on a particular political agenda. Now, I have had times where I've brought up things about, like, hey, this particular bill, like the one that just passed, that they just signed into law, that had an effect on like cafe standards and stuff, and people are asking about the tariffs and stuff like that, like as currently, and how they'll affect us and things like that. Those are things that I have a tendency, I'll talk about them, but just kind of, it's not really where I'm going. It's not the intent of my channel to talk about anything that's political or something like that. I talk more about the product. I want to talk about I want to talk about Toyota. I want to talk about the features on the vehicle. I want to talk about why I think Toyota is better than anything out there. It just is, right? But so I don't do anything that's going to look negative on me or negative on my dealership. I don't. It's not something that I want to do. I don't see a point in doing that. So I've had people reach out to me from all over the country asking, hey, can I come there and buy a car from you? And yeah, come on, let's go. Don't threaten me with a good time, right? So that's something else. We'll have, good conversation. You'll know the car before you leave and all that. And I've had people come from all over the country, and that's another reason that I know that the dealership doesn't mind me doing this, because let's put it this way. I had a lady that she drove up here from Alabama. And she's not that far away. She's 2.5 hours or so. But she passed some other dealerships to get to ours. Now, I don't know if they had any inventory or not, and it really didn't matter because she didn't mention the inventory. She said, and then this is probably more telling than anything, she told me the reason she came up to work with me is because when she met me, and meaning when she met me on YouTube, I wasn't trying to sell her a car. And I had to have her elaborate on that. And she said, when you met me, you were trying to help me figure out what kind of car I should buy. And I'm like, okay. It's kind of, it's not really about figuring out the car. It's just showing you the differences. And she goes, well, no, the way I looked at it is that I was trying to figure out which car to buy, and you were telling me features that were on different cars and things like that, and then how to set it up and things along those lines. And you weren't trying to sell me the car. You were trying to show me the car. And she said, and I just get so tired of going into dealerships, and they just try to sell you. And once they sell you, they're done with you. They don't care about anything after the sale. They don't, they're just, it's just that she's like, I didn't want that experience. She goes, I can get that experience anywhere, but I wanted to drive up here because I know that at least if I have a question, you can answer the question. And that's fair enough. I had a guy drive all the way from California, and he said that the reason he did that was because he refused to buy a car from somebody who knew less about it than he did, and he felt like it was worth the drive to get my phone number. Okay. I mean, I've literally had people come from all over the country. I had a Southwest pilot that worked for Southwest Airlines. He deadheaded. So basically, he got a seat on an airplane and flew up here from Texas to actually buy a Highlander from me. And I've got story after story after story of people from all over the country that came just because they wanted to buy a car from me. Jim down there in Texas, he's bought his second Grand Highlander from me. Why? Because, well, the first one that he bought, which he waited for, and I know you're on here, Jim. How you doing? But the first one he waited for got demolished in a T-bone wreck, and he had called me and asked me if I can get him another one, and I told him I could, and I did. And he came back up here again to get it, and that's just this. I could tell that story a couple hundred times, and there's. And I know they're not coming to see the dealership I work for. I know they're coming to see me, and I know that it's I put the value out there for you guys, and I understand that, and we're on the same page with it. I mean, I understand that I put the value out there. You guys like the value, and that's why you come and see me. And it might be somebody from Paducah, Kentucky, where you can drive down here. I've had a few of those, right? Hopkinsville. I got one girl that's come 3 times from Chattanooga, and then she's on her 3rd car with me. When you consider 10 years, I mean, your average person keeps a car 3 to 5 years. I mean, I'm on, not talking like businesses or whatever, but I've got people, I'm on their like 3rd lease. They're, husband's car, wife's car, daughter's car, son's car. The kid that I met when they were 10 is now getting their first car. And you go, crap. It's like, geez, how did she get that old? How is she, really? I mean, that's within the past couple days, by the way, guys. It's just one of those things where it's like, I remember she was coloring. When you guys got the first car, she was coloring on my desk. You're getting her a car? Seriously? Jeez. This made me feel old. But it's, you kind of get to the point that you're like, okay, all right, that's fine. But you get the idea, right? But it's it's pretty awesome. I mean, I even have customers that will come back to me, and it's like, I met you when I was with my wife. I met you when I was with my husband. We're divorced now, but I've got this new family, and you're still my guy. Is it okay if I still come to you? Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't divorce me. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna treat you with the same respect. I didn't like one over the other any better than the other. That's not how I work, right? I'm gonna treat you with the same respect. I don't care what you look like, what you talk like. I don't care any of that, to be quite honest with you. I'm gonna try to help you. Young, old, if you need 2 hours of instruction with the car, if you're like, just throw me the keys, I got it. I'll do what you need me to do, right? And that's just kind of how I work, right? Now, the ones I tend to throw the keys to, they tend to call me back and ask questions. Just saying. But that's okay. I've also had ones that have taken the 2 hours, and then 2 weeks later, they come back and say, yeah, all that stuff you taught me, I forgot all that stuff. We got to start over. And it's, or how do I enable this, right? Or whatever. The whole point in making this particular video for you guys is to, number one, thank you guys for helping me get to the 100,000, just because not many people have done it, right? It's just that's the answer. So and then so I wanted to thank you guys for that. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight on how I actually do my videos and the edits and stuff. By the way, I'll throw this out there too, which I didn't mention this earlier, one of the reasons this video is so long. But I never stop recording, but I don't quit recording when I'm doing a video, unless for some reason the GoPro does. But I'm always recording, always trying to get to the end, and at that point, I'll figure out what I've got. I'll cut chunks, stuff like that, and then fade in and just. But I'm not. I don't cut a lot for content. I cut for pauses. I cut for, like, every once in a while when I'm recording, I might get to a point and then go, all right, so I did 1, I did 2, I did 3, all right, I did 4, then I gotta, okay, and then I'll start talking again right at that point. And when I've gone through and made sure that I've covered the topics I would, and it kind of gets me to the point where when I'm editing, I can go back through and make sure that what I told myself is what was real, what was true. So all that stuff kind of comes into play. So I'll tell you something else that I do is that you might watch too, is like at the end, I always start with, hey guys, Steve Welch here. And sometimes I say, hey guys, Steve Welch with Beaman Toyota. Just let you know where I'm at. That way if you guys need to get a hold of me, you can. But I'll start, hey guys. I always start, hey guys. Why? I don't know. That's what I started with. That's kind of what I've stuck with. So you go back through all the years, you normally can find me. Hey guys. And then always at the end, I used to do the whole thing that everybody does at the end of the video, where they go, definitely make sure you like and subscribe and share the channel, or make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next time that we were. And people always do that kind of a thing. Well, I had read something a while ago that said, worst thing you can do is something like that, because your average person, by the time you go, hey, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, at that point, most people click off, right? Well, part of how YouTube judges how much people like you is how much of a percentage of the video they watch. So if they've already watched that, why not let somebody get to 100% instead of getting to 98%? So if you'll notice on at least probably the last 3 to 4 years of my videos, I'd be like, hey guys, there's all we got there. Have a good one. Bye. And I'll stop like that, or I'll say, hey, bye. And I'll end with bye. Why? Because then I can stop the video. I'm not wasting your time at that point by going, definitely like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll look to where it doesn't, none of that does anything, right? So that's what I got for you today. Bye. And I'll leave that there, and I just stop with bye. So that's why I do that, in case somebody wonders. I stop it at the end, causes a better percentage of watch time, so that hopefully YouTube will pick it up and push it to more people. Because if you watch the video from the start to the end, YouTube wants to put that video more in front of more people, because they'll likely watch it from the front to the end. So there's something else that you might not have known, a little trick that I do just to hopefully get you to see more of my videos. So I'm up to work here now, so I'm getting ready to go inside there, but I wanted to record this video obviously before I got to work. I'll edit it up and get you guys a couple of pictures and things that you would have already saw, but yeah, just giving you a bit of a background. I do a lot of the videos here in my Tundra, and you can see my 23 Tundra, and then you'll see my 25 Tundra, but I've done videos in both of them. Easy way to tell the difference, by the way, if you look on the headliner, my old Tundra, this was actually gray. My new one, it's black. So if you're ever wondering which one I was in, just look at the headliner, you'll see the difference. Just a little bit more product knowledge for you to just kind of mess with you with, but just, you'll know how old the one you're watching is without ever checking the date. It's, there you go. But tell me what you guys think. I appreciate you guys helping me get to the 100,000 subscribers. Like I said, it's something that, according to what I can see, only 91,000 people in the US. It said over 600,000 the last time I saw it, and it said that worldwide. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but because I saw something else that said that it was less than 300,000. It's not a lot of people, right, that have got here. And like I said, there's a lot of people where they have a crew behind them, a corporation behind them. Their business is YouTube. It's not my business. I do this to help people, and it's one of those things like, who is that always said, I find out the more people I help, the luckier I get. Something along those lines. I'm not sure the exact saying, but yeah, you get to the point where you go, look, if you help a lot of people, then it will pay you back in other ways. And it does. Like I said, people come buy cars from me, stuff like that. All that stuff definitely, it helps. So if you want to buy a car from me, you can. Just reach out to me at buyatoyotanashville@yahoo.com. Buyatoyotanashville@yahoo.com. You can reach out to me with questions there too. But like I said, not the intention for the channel, not the intention for the this video. It's just not. But hey, if you want to, I'm not gonna turn you down, right? But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a bit of a high five, right? Give you a bit of a high five for getting us up to this 100,000. It's great, guys. So we're on our way to 200,000 now. So keep subscribed, keep watching, keep liking, commenting. Every time you guys do that, it does nothing but help. But we'll keep it going. You guys have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.